All right. So I'll never forget the time I was talking to Sydney at work one time, and I was kind of pitching him on this whole Greek gods Percy Jackson campaign and telling him about this character idea I had for it with like a skateboard, and it turns into like a shield and shit. And he looks me dead in the eye. He's like, he must be a son of Hepatitis.
What?
Yeah, a son of Hepatitis.
Please. All right.
Hepatitis B, Hepatitis C, the god of creations and smithing.
Yes, I understand. I feel like that was a very old joke back in Percy Jackson and Kratos days, God of War.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely sure that every time Hephaestus pops up on the God of War screen and Kratos is screaming, "Zeus, I've come for your head!" like a fucking maniac, because all he can do is threaten every Greek god and Norse god. Like, for fuck's sake, if he touches the Egyptian pantheon, we got a problem.
Hepatitis, let me in.
Hepatitis, I've come for you.
We're children. We are children.
I had to explain to him that it was Hephaestus, but damn, we had a laugh over that one.
I promise, we are functioning adults. We go to work and everything.
I make no such promises.
I try my best.
You tried, and the important thing to learn from that is just don't try.
Honestly, yeah. My main mistake was getting my expectations above zero.
Me and my dad have a little song that we like to sing about expectations. You want to hear it?
I do want to hear it.
Okay, it goes like this. Lowered expectations. And that's the whole song.
Oh, all right. I was so ready for more.
Well, you should have lowered your expectations.
Ah, damn.
Got him.
Bamboozled.
All right. Let's start the show. Welcome to Dungeons and Talkshows, the talk show that brings you dungeons, news, and homebrews. I am your host, Orion.
I am your host, Sam. Welcome back.
Oh, it's good to be back. It's been a week. I apologize to our listeners. I went and I screwed up. The internet at the in-laws was terrible. And once you know it, one thing led to another, and I had to re-record certain parts of the at the very end. So that led to us releasing on a Wednesday.
I'm sure it's okay as long as the episode gets out and the quality is good and we're happy with it.
Well, I was thinking for future purposes. You know what? Announce it right now. From now on, we release our episodes Wednesday release.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. We do a Wednesday release that puts it in the middle of the week. We're jumping up. You get up to that hump day and you're just like, oh shit, my week sucks. And you're just in the car going into work. And we're just like, yo, I want to make your day a little bit better to help you get through the week and not kill yourself.
That's a dream.
Well, D&D is the escapism, and I want to help people stay in the game for their escapism. That's the TheNerdMilitia promise.
That is the TheNerdMilitia promise,
Yeah. Also, we definitely couldn't take Thursday because, Critical Role has Thursday. It's in their contract or something. So, it's like a whole mafioso thing. You try to take Thursday releases, Matt Mercer knocks on your door in the middle of the night.
He has Fern in full costume with Ashton with the hammer. What do you think you're doing?
We about to have words.
Oh my god, it spells hells. Oh no.
Bells, hells. Hot damn. Vox Machina. Oh, no.
Jeez.
Oh, damn. Ain't no one about ready to fuck with a midget.
Look, man, Orem and Chetney and all the other gnomes and they are the most scary.
They really like gnomes. Like
They are the scariest creatures.
just because.
As the local monster researcher, it is my jurisdiction to name gnomes and what are the other short dwarves and
Yeah.
and the rest of those short people. They are superior, the proper God-fearing race that God intended.
I feel like you're a little biased here because like you're the same height as Wolverine.
Look, man, if we could all be Hugh Jackman, we would be so lucky.
Listen here. Hugh Jackman culturally appropriated Wolverine from the short man, and I will die on that hill.
Culturally appropriate.
Well, in the comics, Wolverine's like fucking 5'3", 5'4", or some shit, and Hugh Jackman is like 6 foot tall and sexy. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to compete with that?
Fair, that is fair. I have my pride in being just a little bit taller than Kevin Hart, and I'll take that. We take those.
How tall is Kevin Hart?
5'2", 5'3", I think.
You know what? I could probably carry like. If we cloned Kevin Hart, I could have one on each shoulder.
Probably, yeah. I probably could carry Kevin Hart.
Damn. That's how we should measure things in D&D. Like, okay, the barbarian's about to throw the halfling. How many Kevin Harts could you reasonably throw?
This monster is this many Kevin Harts tall.
That's the new measurement system. Okay, so I want to cast... Magic missile. How many Kevin Harts away is he?
What's the range of Kevin Harts?
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's out of how many Kevin Harts wide is Fireball? It's about 4.
The only important thing you need to know is each square on the grid is 1 Kevin Hart.
I think that'll make it a lot easier for the conversion rate with the European players. Like, you don't need to be like, oh, this is like some feet to meters. Like, nah, you're just measuring Kevin Hart.
Wonder if they're tired of this joke yet.
No. We killed it. Oh, well, you know what?
Kevin Hart is pretty tired of this bit.
Well, we could make it up to him, and I can think of one way, Sam.
One way? Free stuff? More free stuff?
Free shit.
Free shit.
Hey, look, free shit. No, I don't know about free shit this week. Let me look at the. I don't know. There is a free shit alert. Yeah. So Heroes and Hardships, they're putting out a free quick start guide. So if y'all click in the description, you can check that out. If you happen to like the whole Heroes and Hardships thing, go right for it,
Oh, yeah.
At any rate, let's see what else. That is it for the free shit. But, the main takeaway from our segment this week is going to be our Monster of the Week. I heard that there was a good vote this week on the server.
There was? There was, I believe most of the regular voters voted, along with some of the new people. And our winner for this week with our first plant creature is the kelp.
The Kelpie. I remember reading about some of those.
Yeah. This may be one of the most folklore popular creatures we've covered.
I would say so.
I mean, it's definitely up there with what else have we done? I mean, there were hags. Those are definitely up there. Skeletons are up there, obviously. Kelpies they go pretty far.
I believe they're Norse.
They are Scottish and Celtic.
Scottish. Oh, okay. That's like a...
There were Kelpies in like Norse and Greek mythology, though I think they were more likely, more often like the hippocampus, in like Greek, and what was the other one called?
So it's adjacent.
Yeah, they have all the different names for basically the same stuff. I can't quite remember what is it called. This is gonna bug me. Sorry, I'm gonna look it up now.
Oh, don't worry. It'll come to you like a week later.
Honestly,
The law of irony dictates it so. Or like halfway through the show. But,
so in Nordic mythology, the creature similar to a kelpie was called a bakahast. Yeah,
Bakahas.
that's interesting.
Yes.
I actually didn't know that.
I remember reading about something like that when I was...
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was going through one of it's not Percy Jackson, but like the Nordic version.
wow.
Like when they moved on to the Norse pantheon, and it's just like, what was that guy's name? Fuck, I swear I remember it. Like I got the book out of a fucking dumpster dive. Yeah, sorry, Rick Riordan. I found one of your books in a dumpster. What the fuck you want me to do? But anyway. Yeah, I believe the title of that book was The Sword of Summer.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, like the main character dies. He becomes an Inheryi, which is like when you go to Valhalla and you got a battle, and when Ragnarok comes around, like you're destined to be a hero of that. It was a interesting thing. And naturally, one thing led to another, and the son of Loki was trans or gender fluid, really. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I get that. It makes sense that anything Loki related would be very gender fluid.
That's fair. I mean, Loki himself was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's fucking Loki. What'd you expect?
Also, did you know, I found out while I was looking up all this Kelpie stuff, there's a dog breed named the Australian Kelpie.
Australian
yeah,
Kelpie.
They're very cute. Very cute.
That sounds like the doofiest dog.
Yeah, I mean...
Does it look as doofy, I think?
Let me look it up again. Australian Kelpie. They look kind of like terriers mixed with like what are those ones called? Rottweilers? No. Dobermans. Yeah,
Dobermans?
Yeah, Doberman.
Yeah. Dobermans are always weird because like everyone's like, oh, hey, I got a Doberman Pinscher.
They're used to muster livestock, primarily sheep, cattle, and goats.
I'm still stuck on the part where people are like, yeah, hey, Doberman Pinscher. Pinscher. Like everyone just has like this. I hear so many people with a annoying way of saying it. Just because like it's always like middle-aged women that are talking about dogs,
I've never heard anyone say it like that.
Dude, you're just not living in the right area then.
Fair
Lucky
enough.
you.
Fair enough. So, should I get... Yeah. You want me to
So what
go
do we
ahead and
got?
get up in here? Got it.
Oh, yeah. Get up under the hood, man.
In Scottish folklore, Kelpies were beautiful creatures that took on the forms of both horses and humans. Although they looked beautiful and innocent, they were dangerous creatures that would lure people to their deaths by coming to shore. They would take on the form of a horse with a saddle and bridle to attract attention. Now, I have seen a horse once in my life, literally once in person. What is a bridle?
Okay, so a bridle is like that thing they hook up to the front of the horse,
Okay.
or maybe it's like part of the little setup thing. I want to say that the bridle is like that little thing that they kind of chew
Part
on.
that goes in the mouth?
Like it's all part of like it. Yeah, the part that goes on like that whole area with the
Okay,
straps
so-
and shit. And then you just like you kind
No,
of.
I didn't just look this up
Yeah.
earlier, but a bridle is a part that like straps around the face and carries the bit. It carries. The
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
The bit is the part that goes in their mouth, but this is the part that it's attached.
Yeah. It's the whole
Okay,
like strappy
cool.
setup.
So this is so it steps out of the water allegedly, like full saddled, full bridled, and ready. Like it's kind of crazy.
It sounds to me like it's got two forms. One is to attract someone that's just like, oh shit, someone lost their horse. I better bring this horse to its owner. A real like lost child, lost and found situation, where it's just like, oh, did somebody lose a horse?
It's funny that you say lost child because I'm gonna get to that earlier or later.
We're speaking fourth dimensionally here.
Getting into the Forgotten Realms lore of what a Kelpie was. Kelpies were creatures that resembled a mass of seaweed, with the ability to alter their form to appear as either a woman, a hippocampus, or a green horse. Regardless of what form they took, their substance was still green seaweed. Other creatures could often identify this in broad daylight if other magic wasn't utilized to enhance their deception. As with most Celtic mythology, the stories from place to place... Oh, wait, I have a typo here. Place to place...
Well, you know...
Oh, yeah. I just confused myself.
Now, Sam. While you mentally sort that out, I present to you something.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Yeah. So you're telling me that it can appear as a woman.
Yeah, allegedly.
And there's some creatures that can do this.
Uh-huh.
Now, I present to you, Sam,
Well, no.
the IRL fuck score.
I mean, it doesn't say, I mean, it's a beautiful creature. It doesn't say like a beautiful woman. So I'm just kind of picturing like a green woman kind of covered in like seaweed. You know, she's all like wet. She has like the long hair.
Okay. Well, yeah, see, you're already halfway there. Yeah, like she's wet and got long hair.
I mean, I imagine from a distance, you'd kind of be like, what? Oh, is that a lady? Out of the lake? Well, then, you're like, what the fuck?
I'd imagine in most of these transformations, it's like, oh no, someone is in distress.
Yeah.
Because like, how many...
I think it often was to kind of convince people that there was someone like drowning or
like, oh no, this person's all tangled up in seaweed. I gotta go save them. Oh no, this horse is just wandering out in the water with a bridle. And you grab that bridle and they just drag you under. It's like, oh shit, I was just trying to be a good Samaritan.
That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Let's just tell you, people, don't be good. Don't help anybody. But yourself.
This is why society burns. We have stories telling good people to stop being helpful.
I mean, you're not wrong. Or now that I'm done having my stroke. No, with most Celtic mythology, the stories vary from place to place, but there were some common descriptions and beliefs about the Kelpie. So, Kelpies lurked around lochs and rivers, appearing in the shape of a beautiful horse or pony to entice travelers and children near. However, should anyone try to tame a Kelpie, they would become stuck and would be swiftly dragged to the deeps and drowned. The Kelpie shares a lot of similarities. This name makes me want to mess up every time. Has a lot of similarities with the legend of the Selkie. And this is what we're talking about. There are other creatures that are known to transform and tempt people in this way. A Selkie was a shape-shifting seal character found in Orcadian and Hebridean mythology.
That sounds... So I'm assuming this turns into a woman as well. And just hear me out. This just sounds like some folklore that originated with somebody getting too drunk.
I mean...
And then they had to rationalize why they fucked a seal.
Okay, so let's be real here, right? So in these times, Scotland, Scandinavian, these kind of areas, they were very migratory. They were on ships a lot. They were traveling overseas. I imagine they saw a seal. Maybe some of them were a little fucked up. And they were like, you know what? That kind of looks like a woman. I'm going to go fuck it.
I've seen enough fat women to confirm this seems legit.
But I imagine when it becomes things like the Kelpie, where it's a little more specific, and there's allegedly a lot of sightings from what I could read, and a lot of stories and situations that are a little strange. When people talk about the Kelpie, in these places, and if we have any, Scottish viewers who know a lot about this or living in the areas who talk about this, you may already know, but there's a lot of like a boogeyman type energy to the stories of Kelp. Keep kids away from lakes at night. Never to trust something that looks like a horse, or I don't know.
There seems to be a lot of that stuff in Celtic folklore, from what I can tell. Like the Celts seem to really have a lot of stuff where it's just like either y'all have a lot of interactions with fey creatures and like we need to do some investigation over there, or like they're very similar in regards to how they go about their educating children on being safe to like how Japanese are with their yokai. Like yokai are supposed to be like allegedly more demonic and like mischievous spirits. Well, in Celtic mythology, it's a lot more like kind of just fey, chaotic. Like okay, there's a lot going on here. Like there's a different energy.
Yeah, like they for the most part seem kind of docile until they're interacted with by people. Like they never go out and attack a town, you know. They like to stay to their own areas, they like to mind their business, and then when someone comes by, that's when they're like, oh hey, what if I just drown this fucker and devour his flesh?
that escalation is just so typical of Fae, you know what I mean?
It does scream Fae to me. I was very curious when I was reading about it.
Yeah, like if I had to say like there's any place in the world that borders the Feywild, it would definitely be Scotland, Ireland. That region, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean that is where they find all like the giant bones and stuff, you know, and like the fairy skeletons and crypts and all that stuff. It's crazy out there, and it's beautiful.
It would not surprise me whatsoever if at some point in human history there was like a more open dimensional bridge between worlds where like that kind of shit was flowing through just wildly.
I would believe it.
Then as time goes on, that kind of like we fall out of phase, and then that kind of stuff just slowly disappears back to its own realm.
Right. Yeah, I think as the world gets more, you know, humanized and industrialized, the magic is being pulled out or dying, you know, and all those creatures probably left.
Yeah, and that's kind of
or died.
That's how I kind of think of it, because I suppose it's more interesting to think of it that way. And I just feel like there's just so many instances where a lot of so many people can't all be wrong. Like I've had some supernatural experiences myself, and a lot of people I've talked to have, and it's just like I can't imagine that everybody is wrong about all these strange things that happen.
Right. Yeah, like it kind of had to start from somewhere. I don't imagine someone just waking up one day and be like, oh hey, you know, I saw this strange seaweed horse creature that turned into a woman. Like I don't imagine someone just making that up.
Yeah, because like if you start making that kind of shit up, first off, people are going to look at you funny, like the fuck you talking about? Sure, you're going to trick like maybe some kids, maybe a drunk down the road, but like if you go out of your way to say that kind of shit, a lot of people are just going to think you're crazy. I don't think there's like a time period thing involved there. Just people are going to generally think, okay, something's not right here.
You know, when you talk about folklore and stuff, these are the kind of conversations you get into. All these stories started from somewhere. Some sighting, some story, you know, popped up one day.
I like to think that some of it originates from collective parenting, like Santa. You know, like Santa's just kind of like everyone's like, oh, hey, you better be good or Santa won't give you no presents. That's just like, as a society, we've come together and decided to put together a conspiracy to lie to children to get them to behave just a little bit better. And that seems to be where a lot of folklore and some religious practices come into play, just as a way to better govern our people and our children.
Absolutely.
And I think at a DM level, that's definitely something that you can utilize, because you can build out folklore for your own homebrew worlds in such a way.
Yeah, have it be a story told to children, a whisper in the wind. People are having hushed conversations about a subject. Like,
yeah, like you could do this with almost anything. A prime example, because it doesn't even have a stat block in game officially, would be the Bagman.
Oh yeah.
You ever hear about the? Yeah, you've heard of the bag man, right?
I've heard of the Bagman, yeah.
Fucking love the bag man. Now the
Oh,
bag
yeah.
man is supposedly an adventurer that he hid inside his bag of holding and then just kind of found himself lost between dimensions and shit. Just kind of became like this kind of SCP boogeyman type thing that pops out of random adventurers' bags, steals some shit, and like maybe even drags a motherfucker in.
Okay.
It's just,
yeah, I mean,
it's so ghost story-esque, and I love it for that.
and in that sense, it would kind of become like a cursed magic item. You pick it up, and this creature tries to drag you into it. So it becomes like a Jumanji game.
I feel like everyone and their mother has a bag of holding. Yeah. Everyone's got a bag of holding, so I feel like that's a great thing to throw in there. The bag man just like it adds an element. And you pull the bag man in one game, you're gonna have your players paranoid for the next 3 games.
Probably, yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I love having like that fear sent to my players.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
anxiety and that paranoia,
You gotta like just a little bit of a vibe check from time to time.
Absolutely.
It's very easy to be too nice to your players. I know because I tend to be.
How does it feel to have this conversation while being one of my players?
It feels like I'm giving you ideas, but this doesn't seem like anything I could reasonably not handle.
I think if we're talking about like pure gameplay mechanic wise, like you are logical and creative enough, I think, to handle majority of situations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do feel like
your
some
innovation surprises me quite a lot.
It's one of the things I love about the game, the creative problem solving. It works my brain in a way that it just you don't get that kind of stuff in your regular everyday.
Oh yeah.
Because like so many
Definitely
times,
different.
like if I play a video game, I'm gonna get annoyed at an obvious answer to a problem, but I can't do it because there's no mechanics in place for me to try that.
Sure.
It's just like, fuck this shit.
And the ability to just try whatever comes to your mind is so fun. Like I was just talking to Sienna about how I love the combined tactic of you guys crossing your magic and attacking this singular point where I was like, this isn't the solution, but I wanted it to work.
it seemed to come close, and that entire session was set up where like Stonk was probably going to have to be sacrificed.
Riveted.
But then we're like, I don't want to kill Stonk.
Right. My kind of idea going into it was this is a solution or the solution. There's kind of one clear way that will come to your mind. There's a few ways around it. Kind of like puts that pressure on you guys. Do we take the seemingly obvious solution? Or do we struggle to find a way out of this creative? And you guys did fantastic.
I proposed to you one thing that I sometimes do as a DM, and I think it's kind of fun. It depends on the group of players you have, but sometimes you just make a problem and you don't have a solution in mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, okay, I just
create one for you.
Yeah, you don't need to make solutions. Sometimes you just need to make problems, because if you got a few casters in the party and some creative types, like, oh yeah, and hell, one good creative marshal can make a difference.
See, I don't know, because I find myself doing it the opposite way, creating a solution, and then having them kind of, I don't know, they end up creating a problem themselves,
That's interesting.
It becomes kind of a mind tactic in a way. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like the door, you guys approached, this wall slams shut. Okay. So you're trapped in this space now. You inspect the wall. You get bits of a code or a riddle or a quote. And in my mind at that moment, the solution is the quote, but you guys didn't want to do it that way. So you kept
Right.
trying other ways, right? And you eventually found a way that was close enough, but just vague enough to work. And I loved it. The way you all kind of, instead of getting one combined life, you all gave a little bit of yourselves. Fantastic roleplay.
Oh, thank you. I'm loving that concept. Like, you have an answer, and then just the problem comes from the answer, and then allowing the players to get something that is answer adjacent.
Good fair.
Like, oh, well, close enough.
Because I mean, chances are, my problem won't be as good as what they'll create. You know. So I was kind of expecting y'all to just off him. At least
I'll admit half the group is. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, they're murder hobos. They'll do it.
Yeah, half the group is in the murder hobo camp.
I was like, if I
no lie there.
Haku, you guys will fight. Like, I was like, she will fight y'all for him.
The bias is real. Like how she just took the axolotl and just kind of like smeared it all over the fucking wall.
I was like, oh, jeez. Oh, man.
That was something. I swear.
Loving. All right, let's get back to the subject. Sorry for like 10-minute tangent.
That's what we do. Tangents Incorporated.
All right, so Kelpies were said to be able to shed their bridle and appear human, much like the Selkie could shed their seal skin and appear as a handsome man. So apparently, Selkie would appear as men, and the Kelpies would appear as females.
Huh.
Which is interesting. So one popular Kelpie story is that one by one, children began disappearing from a small village. And I do have a small story that I took that I thought was pretty interesting. But this small passage states that no one knows where they are going until one child stumbles upon a pony by the lockside. The child strokes its nose and becomes stuck. As the Kelpie dashes towards the lock, the child manages to get free by cutting off his own finger. Like many similar stories, the legend has some roots in the culture of the time and may have served as a warning to children to avoid dangerous stretches of water.
It also kind of like shows that ingenuity to get yourself out of a situation can be very important, because like that right there is such a JoJo way to get out of a situation. You know, like you've seen some of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, right?
Define some.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I haven't seen any episodes, but I've seen like clips, I think, and I've seen like the memes.
Fair enough. I highly recommend if you want the internet to make a little bit more sense to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like cutting off a finger or like breaking your own arm just to win a fight or get out of a situation when things get extreme, totally on brand. Like you need that out of the box thinking sometimes.
Yeah, well, definitely. I love situations that causes like internal conflict. Those are always kind of pivotal moments. At least character development, I think.
I am so disappointed with this one time that I tried to create party conflict as a DM. Because there was two characters that had backstories, and coincidentally they kind of went against each other. So I had this whole plan to play them up against each other so that there'd be a choice. Because one character had amnesia and was from like this clan of people that would hunt dragons and stuff. And the other person was a druid that was in charge of protecting these dragon orb relics. And each one of these dragon orbs would control a color of chromatic dragon.
Oh.
So on one hand, you got a tribe of people that wants to destroy dragons, and this character has no recollection of any of that shit. and the other person's like, okay, my purpose is to save the dragons because they're dragons, and that's like that's my people's goal, like the ancient keepers.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, like long term, I wanted them to kind of like have an RP situation, have it out, and come to a conclusion. Maybe not the best DMing in some regards, but I think like the RP would have been fine. And judging from the group I had at the time, I think it would have worked had scheduling not fallen apart and people moving away.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
Oh well. It's nice to know that sometimes like you got to read your party, be like, okay, can they handle this?
Yeah, it can be tricky.
Like, there's a lot of players that just could not handle something like that, and I would not recommend for them.
Yeah, that's okay.
You got anything else on Kelpies?
Oh yeah, I got a bunch. So, the Kelpie myth has its origins in ancient Celtic and Scottish mythology. The meaning of the word Kelpie remains uncertain, but it is believed that it has derived from the Gaelic word Kalpa, or Callipich, which means colt or heifer. There are many stories about Kelpies, one of the most common being the tale of the Loch Ness Monster. However, it is not clear what these stories actually originate. According to certain sources, the Kelpies may have their roots in ancient Scandinavia, where horse sacrifices were performed.
Sacrifices, huh?
Yeah, I had never heard of that before. That's interesting.
You know, it seems way more valid than like goat sacrifices, because like horses, they just seem like they have a lot of utility, and it makes sense that no one would necessarily want to sacrifice them. I mean, like in modern day stuff, like horses aren't as useful, which is why like a lot of people rejoiced when Obama sent them back to the glue factory. You know, one of the lesser known policies.
Oh no. All right.
And that was your political education.
Nope, there we go. Canceled.
Equestrians everywhere. Thanks, Obama. People who like horse meat. Thanks, Obama.
There's no cock like horse cock. In junk.
You know, it's funny you say that. My wife met a woman that attempted that.
Oh no! Oh no!
Bitch ended up in a wheelchair for the rest of her life.
Oh my god! All right, guys. If you learn anything from us, please do not fuck horses.
Because horses don't fuck around.
Look, man, if you're gonna fuck around and find out, you may end up in a wheelchair.
Hey, that's if you're lucky. Shit. Getting underneath a horse, I don't want my melon squished.
Oh no! We should change the subject.
Melon as in skull, Sam. Damn.
I assumed melon as in skull, but how do you?
Well, it's irrelevant. Kelpies can be horseish.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would hope no one's out here fucking a Kelpie. Please. Scottish people, please tell me you're not out of fucking Kelpies. I mean, I do have a little bit about Kelpie reproduction.
There we go. That's a segue.
I have a little bit more before we get there. So.
Oh, okay.
The Scandinavians told stories of dangerous water spirits to 8 little children. The purpose of these stories was to scare children into staying away from dangerous waters. Like I was talking about earlier, much like the boogeyman, the story of the Kelpies were also told to scare children into good behavior. They were told that the Kelpies would come after children who behaved badly, especially on Sundays. Kelpies were also blamed for any deaths caused in water. If someone drowned, people would say that they had been captured and killed by the Kelpies. Since the Kelpie was said to have taken on the form of woman, form of man, so like humanoid. Traditionally,
Okay.
the story warned young women to be wary, and for young men to be wary of attractive strangers.
Well, you know,
Stranger danger.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Exactly. Yes. Everyone out there, if someone attractive approaches you, be wary. They may be a kelp.
Stranger danger.
This is a PSA. Alright? Someone attractive shows interest, be suspicious.
listen, every time some attractive person shows interest, I'm very suspicious. Well, first they'd have to show interest, but I would be suspicious if it happened.
Yeah, I would be too. So, Kelpies were often I skipped the word. Kelpies were often confused when confronted with victims that were immune to or incapable of drowning, but not hostile towards them. Rather than dismissing them, Kelpies would welcome the charmed victims' continued protection. So,
Who the fuck is immune to
if they
drowning?
I don't know, aquatic races? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, are there any D&D races that can't drown? Maybe like a Triton or something?
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they can't drown.
I don't know. I guess I mean, that's why they were confused, I guess. Like,
Damn.
so when they tried to drown them, they'd be confused, and then they'd become curious enough to want to protect them. That's interesting.
That sounds like a plot point that could be utilized.
A plot point that could be like for a game.
Yeah, absolutely.
People player that is immune to drowning. Oh, I guess someone that doesn't breathe too. There's plenty of things like that.
Yeah, you try to drown a warforged and they're just like, what?
Yeah.
What you doing, bro?
Like our warlock doesn't breathe now. So, I mean, like she can't drown.
Yeah, give her a Kelpie.
Yeah.
Not like we don't have enough companions.
You guys only have 3. Not including our primal tiger, your bat, your unseen servant. Our druid summon fae.
I named my unseen servant Theodore.
Did. Fantastic name. So I promised I would get into their reproduction, and here it is. So these creatures reproduce asexually, increasing in size from 7 feet, 2.1 meters, and then splitting into 2 or 4 more kelpies. This could be done once a month, so as long as they were plentifully fed. Young sprouts were incapable of casting any spells. If properly cared for, a sprout could grow into a full-size kelpie within a month. Either their human or horse form, kelpies could roam about on land for upwards of 3 hours. There you go. That's how they reproduce, guys. There you have it. They're mitosising, I guess.
Mitosis.
Oh yeah, you're asexual. Reproduce. Perform mitosis.
Literally, my biggest problem with all this modern day stuff, where everyone's like,
Not get into it.
no, it's just like, yeah, this might be a hot take, but like, someone comes up to me and they're all like, "Hey, I'm asexual, dude. I need to watch you like split in 2, clone yourself." Because like that's just not what that means to me. Like, I don't know. That's just my take. It's like, I always like flash back to fucking biology class. Like, this is what this means. Then someone's like, oh yeah, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But
Yeah.
I do have the story that I was talking about before. I did read it over a little bit. It's a little long, but I mean long, maybe a couple minutes, but it is quite interesting. So it's called The 10 Children and the Kelpie.
The 10 children.
Everyone buckle in. About this, get a hot cup of tea. relax a little bit, get your blanket, get all snuggled up.
Oh shit! Here we go.
All right. The Scottish tale of 10 children who one day came across a beautiful horse by the river. The children were fascinated by the beauty of the creature and wanted to ride it. However, 9 of them climbed onto the horse's back while the 10th kept the distance. As soon as the 9 children were on the Kelpie's back, they got stuck to it and couldn't get off. The Kelpie chased the 10th child, trying its hardest to eat him. The child was quick and escaped. In an alternate version of the story, the 10th child stroked the creature's nose with his finger, which got stuck to it. Realizing the danger he was in, the child cut off his finger and cauterized it with a piece of burning wood from the fire. In a more gruesome version of the tale, the child's entire hand was stuck to the kelp, so he took out his pocket knife and cut it off at the wrist. By doing this, he managed to save himself, while his 9 friends were dragged into water, never to be seen again.
Damn.
There you have it.
Well, I got nothing on that one.
Rest in peace to those kids.
I got something. How the fuck is this horse picking up 9 kids?
I mean, kids are small. Horses are pretty big. I mean, I'm not like a horse guy. But someone tell me if horses can carry that many kids.
I'm not talking about weight. Just like where are you putting them all?
I mean,
you got stow and go horses?
I mean, I imagine if they can kind of shift their bodies, they could probably appear larger.
They got a back seat?
Yeah, they probably have a longer back, wider back if they need. I imagine they could flex their form a little bit. I did look at their abilities, and they do have some kind of body-altering ability, which I can get into here.
That makes more sense.
So, I'll go over their stats real quick before we finish up the Kelpie section of this video. Or episode. Not video.
I mean, you want us to start live streaming?
I did see Distractable starting to apply video to their podcast episodes on Spotify. That's pretty interesting.
Leave a comment, people, if you want us to start doing video.
It would be pretty cool. So, these creatures were capable of casting the charm spells and could communicate telepathically with any being by embracing them. However, their charm spells were only known to work on humanoid males. The effect of a Kelpie's spells would all end shortly after its death. Their bodies were largely invisible in the infrared spectrum. Due to consistently being drenched in water, fire-based attacks were often ineffective against them. They were a medium plant and neutral evil.
Huh. Infrared spectrum, huh? That's wild, dude.
Alright, so their stats are as follows. Strength is a 14. Dexterity is a 14. Constitution is a 16. Intelligence is a 7. Wisdom is a 12. Why am I missing charisma?
That sounds like a personal problem.
Hold on. 1 second. I'll find it again.
You can do it. We believe in you.
10. I think. Yeah, 10. So the charisma is 10. So, they have some interesting abilities, a little bit more than some of the other creatures we've covered. They have amphibious. The Kelpie can breathe air and water. They have false appearance. While the Kelpie remains motionless in its true form, it is indistinguishable from normal seaweed. This is where we get into their kind of altering of their form with seaweed shape. The Kelpie can use its action to reshape its body into the form of a humanoid or beast that is small, medium, or large. Its statistics are otherwise unchanged. The disguise is convincing unless the Kelpie is in bright light or the viewer is within 30 feet of it, in which case the seams between the seaweed strands are visible. The Kelpie returns to its true form if it takes a bonus action to do so or it dies.
That's very interesting.
Right. And their last kind of outstanding ability to me is drowning hypnosis.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I know, right? The Kelpie chooses one humanoid it can see within 150 feet. If the target can see the Kelpie, the target must succeed on a DC 11 wisdom saving throw to be magically charmed while the Kelpie maintains concentration. Up to 10 minutes. The charmed target is incapacitated, and instead of holding its breath underwater, it tries to breathe normally and immediately runs out of breath, unless it can breathe water. If the charmed target is more than 5 feet away from the Kelpie, the target must move on its turn toward the Kelpie by the most direct route, trying to get within 5 feet.
So that basically like circumvents all of the holding your breath rules with Constitution and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what your con is. It's got you right there.
Right. And before moving into damaging terrain such as lava or a pit, and whenever it takes damage from a source other than the Kelpie or drowning, the target can repeat the saving. A charmed target can also repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns. If the saving throw is successful, the effect ends. The target that successfully saves is immune to the Kelpie's hypnosis for the next 24 hours.
You said lava. Dude.
Yes.
The implications of lava kelpies.
Lava Kelpie.
Dude, you find yourself on the elemental plane of fire. You're just walking by a lava lake. Then lava kelpies draw you in. Not only are you going to drown, you're going to burn. Or just like, if you find a lava kelpie at the top of a mountain with an active volcano. Dear Lord, that's a TPK waiting to happen.
Oh my god, that'd be so cool though.
That's one way to lose a character.
But that is all I have for Kelpies today. I hope you all enjoyed this subject. That kind of concludes all of our categories, I believe.
I think so. And what I'm really liking here is just, they're so trappy. Very trappy. Like,
Kelpies are traps, guys.
If you're the kind of DM that likes to trap players with enticing things, lure them into bullshit, Kelpie, definite way to go.
Yeah, I feel like they're flexible enough to where you can definitely homebrew them a little bit, make your lava Kelpie, turn it into like a dragon? I don't know.
Well, bare minimum, lots of players love animals. Like, oh, I gotta go save this animal. Oh,
Yeah.
bards and everybody else, lawful paladin, we gotta save that woman that's clearly in distress over there in the water.
Right.
Like, you know, you got...
like shapeshift into like a dog or something, something enticing. Cat. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's got to save the cat. Like, oh no, there's a drowning cat. We got to save it. Oh no, there's a drowning lady. Here comes Captain Save-A-Ho.
Oh no, the White Knights have arrived. My lady, I shall rescue you.
Yeah, this is how you put your neckbeard players in place. No offense to any actual neckbeards out there. It's truly glorious. And just,
No, here's an offense. Shave your goddamn neck beard. All right, no one likes it.
He's lying. Just brush it, groom it, grow it, make it thick like a mane. Then grow out your hair like really long, so it just kind of like goes around like a lion. Put a little bit of paint on your head. Simba.
You can go lion had a neck beard. Look a lot different.
No, I met a neckbeard once. He was straight, looked like a lion. It was wild, dude.
Imagine having like a neck beard and a mullet.
Dude, mullets are making a comeback, and I'm seeing them on like 12-year-olds everywhere, and I'm disgusted by it.
Some cargo shorts and some sandals, socks, and a polo shirt.
Oof, dude, get those socks out of here. You step in a puddle, your feet are wet for the whole day. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, man. That's how I'm gonna be a dad when I have kids next 40 years.
I'm good for the cargo shorts. Cargo all day, every day. You know?
Fair
But
enough.
like, I'm wearing
Pockets
the
are helpful.
pockets are amazing. Get me them sandals. I want to get me a pair of combat sandals. Is that a thing?
Combat sandals.
Yeah, like sandals, but grippy. More secure.
Grippy socks, but sandals.
Yeah, like Naruto shit, Like I need sandals that are ready to go.
As they said in the Bible, in that one chapter that I don't remember the number of, grippy socks, grippy box.
Yeah,
And,
that seems like something the Pope would say.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds about right. I mean, guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I know anything about one of those, that's definitely the one.
Fair enough. News for this week. Yeah.
Well, let's see. We got Hot Pockets is doing a Magic the Gathering arena promo where they're putting codes and shit. They're like, you get bonus XP for your Hot Pockets and exclusive shit. And like,
hell yeah.
I play my Magic in person, so I'm not too concerned. But like, I think it's kind of a nice little nod, you know.
Look, man, that's just like Hot Pockets.
Yeah, if you can get card packs and XP for eating Hot Pockets that you're doing already, then just eat your Hot Pockets, you know? Little something out there for... Although, anyone who's eaten a lot of Hot Pockets and plays Magic probably already knows this by now. I think there might be some other products that are doing like a similar situation. In other news, Project Black Flag 2 playtest is out. Well, I know playtest number 2 is out. So... you remember back in the OGL debacle, the stuff that really got our podcast started, there was some projects going out to create new tabletop systems as an alternative. And that's where Project Black Flag kind of came in as like one of the forerunners. And currently they're releasing their new playtest. So hopefully we hear some good stuff from that. I love to see third parties coming together and decentralizing things a little bit when it comes to the RPG market. I mean, we already had a bunch of good stuff before, but more content, there's potential there, you know, kind of polish up the community as a whole.
Sounds cool.
And let's see, we got some other stuff going on. There is the D&D player survey was released this week. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw you post on the Discord.
Yeah, so if you go on there, you can make your voice heard to Wizards of the Coast, because avid D&D players, you got to let your voices be heard, because now they know to listen up. Which kind of segues into the next thing. I mentioned last week that that Wizards of the Coast was bringing in a bunch of creators from YouTube all over the place for a creator summit.
Yes.
Dude, the Twitter backlash on anyone that's going, brutal. It's just like, everyone's like, they're a bunch of shills, don't trust them. And obviously, with WotC's just like, hey, no, we don't want to bring in certain people that are going to speak out too harshly against us. And I'm just saying, like, I'm a little jealous because, like, we could go there and, like, I'm not opposed to a little wine and dining. You know what I mean? Like, that. They're gonna want to win you over, and like they want to encourage you to say nice stuff, but like we say whatever the fuck we want anyways, so
true.
Ain't nothing stopping us to begin with, so maybe they'll never invite us.
Right.
But I don't think we're too harshly critical either. I'm just saying.
Eventually we may have to censor if we want to do like Patreon or something. But when the time comes, for now, we just want to be our real selves. We don't want to have to change or be different.
Absolutely. I don't want to filter shit.
Yeah.
Ain't no good.
If we need to add some bleeps here and there, you know, to get the advertisements, eventually we may have to, but when the time comes, for now, y'all are getting the raw cuts.
I will try to be as genuine as possible. Hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Anything,
what else?
You want real and genuine here.
Oh, absolutely.
What's to you? Information we can get.
Let's see what else we got. There's some new Kickstarters that launched this week.
Hell yeah. We love those.
Absolutely. Shout out to Acquisitions Incorporated doing their Series 2 launch on Kickstarter. As of this recording, they are at $222,000, almost to their $250,000 goal. And they got 22 days to go from this point. I am looking forward to it. I saw some of their little trailer for it. It was delightfully awkward. It's like, they're bringing their A game here.
Is this delightfully awkward?
There absolutely is. It's like, delightfully awkward is what Rick and Morty strives for.
Okay.
But like, this is kind of in a more lighthearted kind of way.
Okay.
I'm looking at their roster, like, dude, they got Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford up in there. So you know that everything's on the up and up for this.
Right.
I personally like Acquisitions Incorporated, not from being a longtime fan, but like I bought their module because I thought it looked neat. It was like a cartoonish mind flayer on the cover. And I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I'm going to run it for my players. And it turned out to be a lot of fun for my players because one of them was going to college to be an accountant or some financial bullshit. And the rest are like, okay, we're going to run a business. And next thing I know, they're making like a weed empire. And they're like hiring people. They're doing everything. And they had it was just a wild time. And eventually I want to resume that campaign. So this gives like a bunch of supplementary adventures that are all set within the Forgotten Realms on the Sword Coast with your Acquisitions Incorporated franchise. And although a lot of people might not like the whole corporate business jokiness that comes with Ac Inc. kind of making it the Office, but in the Forgotten Realms, there is a niche for it. And I find it just a little more fun for the whole guild-like structure because you're getting clients to do adventuring shit. You get your base that's upgradable. Like the base rules for having your home base and maybe like a mobile base and building it up and hirelings. Like it's a lot of stuff that was missing from base 5th edition. And fantastic resource for DMs that want to give their players just a place to be and come back to.
I mean, I feel like you can kind of do that though.
You can, but it's very structured and easy. Like it streamlines it. It gives you tiers and like how far out your reach goes, hireling rules, and it gives a good structure to it so that things don't get over, just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I was in your acquisitions game for a few sessions, and from what I could see, it was pretty interesting. I was into it.
Yeah, it was a wild one.
Yeah, it was a fun character to run, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping to resume it at some point, but as it stands, the father life is not permitting.
It do be like that sometimes, man. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't have kids, but yeah. I can sympathize. There you go.
Understandable. So another cool Kickstarter that got going. This happened not too long ago, but it's relevant now because Shadow Dark RPG, the old school gaming, modernized to like be like 5th edition. So it kind of gives you like a modern take on old school D&D. So it's kind of like bringing that old gaming with new mechanics all together. So it's like more dungeon crawly, I
do like dungeon crawls.
Getting back to the basics in a more palatable way. Their goal was initially 10K. Care to guess where they're at the time of this recording?
200K.
They are at 939,000. They're almost at 1 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're like, hey guys, we need 10K to fund this book project, and everyone's like, 10K, nat 20, take our money.
Jesus.
I would actually like to get into like old school dungeon crawly stuff more.
Dude.
In future games, like someone in our group has got to pick this up. Like my budget's tight, but damn, this looks nice. I'll show you. I'll send you the link.
But dude, you could like make an animation. You could do like a short series or something.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of like what they did with Critical Role. Hey, we want to do a special. Here, do 2 seasons.
Yeah, right. I hope they have more because that show is so good. I know they're doing the Mighty Nine one.
That's exciting because I didn't watch it.
I mean, I didn't watch campaign 1 or 2 really. But
I
did
started
watch
on campaign 3 because, like, it just started by the time I was trying to get back into it. So it's like, okay, here, I'm just going to start here. That way I'm up to date on something. And then I kind of fell off because life got unstructured.
Yeah.
But I do like it.
Yeah, I'm a dedicated fan. But, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, I did see Vox Machina. I thought it was really good. And I kind of feel like I understand campaign 1 now.
Yeah, I enjoyed what they did for the animation for Vox Machina, top tier stuff, and this is what we want to see in the community. And it's about time, really.
And that was perfect D&D. Like,
it's long overdue.
How do you feel about the movie? I saw the trailer, and it kind of convinced me at least to give it a shot.
I think with the movie, it's what we need to do is we got to show Wizards, like, hey, we're not going to punish you over the OGL stuff for the movie.
Yeah.
Like, because they did backpedal, the message was sent. It's kind of like when the community was like, hey, listen here, that's not how you make Sonic. This is how you make Sonic. You better fix Sonic for the fucking Sonic movie, or we will boycott this shit, and you'll never have Sonic again in this town. Capiche?
So true.
Yeah, it's like that. It's absolutely like that every fucking time. So Sonic 2 looked great. It really did.
It was pretty good, honestly.
You know, it's about time that our game to movie thing with Hollywood started being on point, because Hollywood has been shit for the past decade.
And the Mario movie looks like ass. I'm sorry. I mean, I get it looks good, like, visually, but, like, please.
Everyone's just kind of cringing over the Chris Pratt pick, but, like, who knows? He might pull it off. I mean, they gave him the role for a reason, I would assume.
The guy who does the voice for Mario looks like Mario, so why wouldn't you have him play Mario?
Dude, I'm still stuck on like the old school like 80s Mario, where it's like, do the Mario swing your arms from side to side.
Yeah, that's more of what we need.
Yeah, if they went that route, that might have been a little bit more fun. That's the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh man! All right, you have any more news?
Just a little bit, I think.
Go for it.
It just looks like it's kind of a general thing. Have you heard about the Roald Dahl alterations that are going on?
The what?
There's a bunch of Roald Dahl books, but like James and the Giant Peach, and those kind of books that you find in the. Well, that's related to a whole issue that's been had with sensitivity readers, and like Wizards of the Coast hires these people. And I guess they were kind of, according to the article, they're all upset that a lot of the content that's being sent their way, it just puts a lot of work on their plate, because it's like a lot of insensitive stuff. So it's like, oh, please stop. We need to hire people to pre-read this shit and dull it down so that we can go through it. And I'm just like, dude, maybe this ain't the hobby for you if you're doing that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Like, what, you want to sanitize everything? It's like, it's bad enough y'all trying to get rid of race. Like, make all player characters always the same and not interesting at the start of every game. Everyone gets this to put their stats in like a couple things that it doesn't matter. Everyone gets the same this and that, and your race is just flavor at this point.
Oh no, that
It
sounds so.
It just seems like the direction they're heading in. They're like they don't want race to matter in D&D. It's like, dude, if you play an orc wizard, you're kind of at a disadvantage. But like if you got a good stat roll, it's like, okay, you are the outlier.
I'm sorry, but I feel like race should absolutely matter in D&D.
Yeah, it's just like it's there for a reason. I don't think it should be the end all be all, but like it's an aspect. Don't delete aspects just because real world people have trouble getting along.
Right, like it should have no correlation to the reward at all. It's literally the point. Like I don't understand.
They're like I'm kind of warming up to the whole species thing because like, okay, yeah, species, well, subspecies, like, it makes sense.
Yes,
I don't like the reason that they're getting that a lot of people are pushing to get rid of their whole race thing because like, oh, we don't like the correlation between race and this. It's just like,
man, as long as it doesn't like change what the races do, I don't think it really matters. Like,
yeah, as long as nothing's changed mechanically.
Just don't make them worse. Like, yeah, don't make it worse. Don't take away their stat bonuses or their abilities.
Keep some weaknesses in there for God's sake. Damn.
Yeah.
You know, you need trade-offs. Like, come on.
You're gonna end up with a situation where everyone's rolling variant human. Like,
yeah, it's just variant flavors of variant human. Congratulations, you dumbed down the entire system. None of it matters now, right? It's just don't even know what to do anymore with that.
I mean, you've seen the kind of characters I play. That would like kill a lot of the character creation fun for me.
Yeah, like you need just background stuff for it to be interesting, you know?
Yes. And if anyone here, I'll give an example of what I'm referencing when I say characters that I I'll go look into my list really quick. Hold on. I'm gonna out myself. All right, so I played a Tricera in one of our games, right?
Oh yeah, that dude was cool.
My soulbound guy who was basically Alphonse from fucking Full Metal. I have a gargoyle that I haven't played yet. I have a mantid character that I haven't played yet.
Maybe we shouldn't include like things that you haven't played yet because let's just face it, you're DMing. That list is gonna keep on growing and growing.
I know. It's been a while since I've made a new character, but that's something that I always like to do in my free time.
Yeah, character creation's a lot of fun.
You know, I like to play Dragonborn and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I remember.
I don't think I've played a human yet. I don't think I'm gonna.
I had to like be the opposite. Like I was like kind of get out of like a half human and human stuff at first because like I like to play something a little closer that I can understand.
Okay.
But I'm growing out of that. Like I'm playing a Dragonborn character right now.
Okay, out of all the characters you've played, who do you think's your favorite so far?
Ooh, that's gonna be a toss up between Desmond and Esra.
I feel that.
I'm having so much fun with Esra. Don't get me wrong, Rops is a lot of fun because like he's got that whole like rope aesthetic, and a lot of his characters just kind of jokey, but like interesting in that way.
Right. I feel that.
But like Desmond was two classes that should not be multi-class together, and he was just working to make shit happen, whether it was going to happen or not.
Right.
Like sorcerer, artificer, that don't go together well. It's very multi-ability dependent.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite will probably be Titan, the Warforged that I played. And then
in the same game that I had Desmond.
And then my second would probably be, I mean, we didn't get to do a whole lot with it, but maybe my Tricera. I was excited to play a cleric for the first time.
Yeah, it's a shame that game fizzled out.
I'm lying. My Plague Doctor. Absolutely.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I got you that little metal poster. I hope you like that one.
I do. I love Plague Doctors.
Let's see. Is there anything else that we can touch on? Like, that basically covers us for news.
Good.
I mean, there's been some good Kickstarters going on lately, and I'm excited for some of the Shadow Dark and acquisition stuff.
And the Shadow Dark seems really cool. I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, I think we're coming up to a good time to start with our homebrew showcases for this week.
Oh, absolutely. And that brings us right into our homebrew showcase with
Generic realm, lots of fun, excellent.
Oh, I thought it would be fun. I'm going to roll a d20, and I would like you to pick a number. Well, we're both going to pick a number. And then
all right, 15.
Roll a die on Google. D20. What the fuck?
Rolling on Google.
I know.
Fucking heathen.
I don't have my stuff. You know what? Here, I have an app on my phone. Bet. I'm
You got an app in your phone now?
gonna go grab my dice. I can do it. Hold on.
No.
Too late. We're doing it.
He's committed, folks. He's committed. Meanwhile, I happen to have some dice within reach.
My D12. All right, I got it. D20. I'm not gonna roll it. I need like a.
Oh shit! Here we go.
I gotta empty out my. Okay. All right, you ready?
I got one, so I'll roll for myself.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So we both pick a number.
14.
11. You go first.
Oh, okay. I like this. This is how we should do it from now on. I'm like, that's just fun.
All right, go ahead.
All right. So I present to you a race this time.
Whoa.
Because, we were just talking about race, and I don't think this fits into the species argument as it is a skeleton.
Ooh, okay.
Now, it's the ability score increase, +2 to con.
Really quick.
And
Is this a natural skeleton or is this a created skeleton?
that depends.
Well,
There's 3 sub-race options.
okay. Sorry. I'll let you continue.
Thank you, sir. So, for the ability score, you increase your con by 2, and please don't forget to drink your calcium, because very important to this build.
You know what's really funny? Really quick, I'm going to interject.
What?
I have this Bard College, and it's the College of Calcium, and it's all themed around spooky, scary skeletons.
It's funny you say that, because that's right in the description of the alignment right here. Skeletons are usually neutral through evil or chaotic skeleton. Oh, though evil and chaotic skeletons are common, and spooky, scary skeletons even more so. This person knew what they were doing when they were writing this up.
Yeah, they had to.
The size is you are as tall as you were in life, and typically you're probably going to be medium. You might be small. It depends on what you want yourself to have been in life.
Minotaur.
Not that I think you'll get too many benefits from that.
Minotaur.
Speed of 30. You get your dark vision. That's pretty normal. But for fun abilities, we got Limb Forager.
Oh.
If one of your limbs is severed, you can replace it with another bone of the appropriate type, putting it back in place as an action. That's great.
So by appropriate type, I assume it means arm.
Yeah.
So say you're fighting like an owl bear, right?
I would assume it would have to fit. You know what I mean?
I mean, would it not fit?
I think an owlbear might be too much.
It has to be like a humanoid arm, like.
Yeah, most likely.
Like if you cut off like a dragonborn's arm, you could reattach it to yourself.
So next up, we got undead. So that's going to be your creature type. It says here in parentheses, Normally, healing spells can't affect you, but your game master can lift this restriction.
Okay.
Then we got false appearance. You may, as an action, collapse into a non-moving skeleton. You remain motionless. You are indistinguishable from a normal skeleton. In this state, you are prone and your speed is 0.
All right.
So
I love it. I love it.
you could just be, oh, never mind me, I'm just a pile of bones.
Oh, my reaction. I love it. That's amazing.
Next is skeletal nature. You're immune to disease and being poisoned, and you have resistance to poison damage. No different than a construct, really.
Oh my god, I just had a genius idea.
Oh?
Okay, so I'm gonna create a scenario real quick. Say you and your party,
Gotcha.
you're wandering around in like a dungeon, right? Some enemies up ahead.
Right.
You know? Oh no.
Oh, shit.
What are we gonna do? Your party hides. You drop a skeleton, you know? Or drop into the pile of bones. The clatter, clatter, clatter. Enemies come running. What's going on? To see the skeleton bones. Ah, it's a fucking skeleton. They turn their backs. So you clap them. Traveling concubine all over again.
The traveling concubine all over again. Got him. So part of the skeletal nature here is you don't need to eat or breathe. Instead of sleeping, you enter an inactive state for 4 hours a day. You don't dream in this state. You are fully aware of your surroundings and how spooky you look.
Hell yeah.
That had to be mentioned. Languages. Although your voice is weak and ethereal, because of a lack of vocal cords, isn't something magical can't fix. You can speak, read, and write Common, as well as another language you knew in your former life.
Okay.
Next, we're coming up on the whole sub-race section. Now, the first one is failed experiment. A magical mishap happened, killing you instantly. After years of rotting away, your flesh was gone. But somehow, magic reanimated your body. You are now a walking and breathing ... Well, walking skeleton. You gain the following benefits. +1 to your intelligence. And then an ability, Elon Musk of bad ideas.
What?
You heard me right. So Elon Musk of bad ideas gives you, you can increase the potency of your spells at a cost. Your life is the cost.
Whoa.
When you cast a spell, you can cast it as if using a spell slot level that is 1 higher. If you do so, roll a d10. On a 1, you take a number of force damage equal to 4 times that spell's new level. After casting it, once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you take a short or long rest.
Wow.
That sounds fun.
That sounds fun.
A way to boost your spells. It's balanced because there's a backlash possibility. It's once a day, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
And the naming is really on point.
It's definitely unexpected.
And the second ability that comes with this sub-race is Connection to the Weave. Your death by a violent magic outburst has created a unique connection to you and the source of magic. You gain proficiency in the Arcana skill.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Size?
Next is Fallen Warrior.
Okay. This is another sub-race?
Yeah, another sub-race. You died on the battlefield, or perhaps ambushed by an enemy forces. This warrior's will never left you, even in death. The means by which you are brought back are unclear, but you kept on fighting and gained the following benefits. +1 to strength. Then you get an ability called Unbreakable Will. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed and on death saving throws. So that's pretty nice. Not bad. Martial Master. The training you had in your previous life is still there. You gain proficiency with 3 different martial weapons of your choice. No, a chair is not a martial weapon.
All right.
That's pretty good because, like, you can play a martial character Or like you could just be like, okay, I'm gonna play like a druid, then just give yourself proficiency in a bunch of shit that druids don't have.
Yeah.
So you can really go all out with some good weapons there.
Yeah.
And the Unbreakable Will really sells that part. Advantage on death saves and against being charmed.
Makes sense.
It's very on brand. Now the final one for the sub races, Trapped Scout. You were perhaps scouting a perilous dungeon or investigating the whereabouts of a powerful political figure. But it wasn't great, nor the greatest for that matter. You died, but you lived. Partially, that is. You gain the following benefits. +1 to dexterity. Trap sense. Your body remembers what it was like dying from a trap and does not want to relive that experience. It instinctively knows when to react to danger. You have advantage on saving throws caused by traps.
Nice.
That's so specific and I love it. And then the next ability, Naturally Stealthy. Your body is light and does not give you away. You have proficiency in stealth checks.
Okay.
And that's it. I'm loving the options here. So it's like, if you want to be like, oh yeah, I'm a trappy kind of guy. I'm stealthy. Like,
You know, all these sub races, you got mage, you got your fighter, and you got your rogue.
yeah,
Or
basic loadout right off the bat, and that works just amazingly. And you can pair those with the opposite.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you can get a little bit of everything in there.
I even
And
imagine
it'd be
you could
reasonable.
become a skeleton archer if you wanted to. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Trap Scout would be good for that.
I like it. I like it.
I would have to give this I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think it's pretty damn good.
I agree. I think it's about an 8 or 9.
You know what? That reminds me. We didn't do the IRL fight score earlier.
This is true. I was just thinking about it. And I was like, oh, I guess we can do it at the end. But you know, for the Kelpie, I feel like that's a toughie. I feel like that's an 8 or a 9 as well.
I would say that's a 7. Like,
7?
if I can get a weapon, then I might be able to come up on it.
Yeah, but I mean,
like-
it's like water, right? Like, what are you gonna do?
Well, if it brings the fight to me, here we go. Like, I'm not outwardly trying
Yeah,
to touch
there's
it
no
usually.
way I'm falling for the trap first, so maybe I would lower it a little bit.
Yeah, like I'm gonna see this shit a mile away. Like, okay, this is suspicious. I'm not gonna try to touch it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just way too sus to begin with.
But I mean, there is also the charming effects that it can have. So me personally, I don't feel like I am likely to fall for a charming effect, but I could see
If you did that,
yeah,
that'd be the one that would get you.
right, yeah, I could see in a situation where, you know, maybe I can like, oh, okay, well maybe I can like approach it, you know, maybe I'll let my guard down a little bit. That's how it'll get me. Like,
Nah, if I see something threatening, like, ain't no chances being taken up in here.
well, I mean, if it doesn't appear as threatening at the time, that's how it.
I feel threatened if it wants to trap me.
Feel threatened anyway. Yeah, I mean, if I see a pretty lady off out in the lake by herself, I think I'm feeling pretty threatened.
Yeah,
Seems
it's
like
like,
a
how
trap.
dare she? Exactly.
If I'm falling for this,
You know, a pretty woman gives you a compliment. It's time to, you know, leave the country because she's a fed and they're onto you.
Good. All right. We're coming up towards the end here. I've got my homebrew ready. Go ahead and finish off this episode. So,
Sounds good.
I present to you the Abandoned Ring of the Nine Hells,
That sounds metal as fuck.
featured from D&D Beyond. User Trashim. Trashim?
Trashim.
But this seems cool as fuck. I was reading, I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. So, it's a little
Right?
long. Bear with me for a second. So, this is a ring. Artifact. Requires attunement by contacting a devil. So, the Abandoned Ring is a plain stone ring. with barely
Right.
legible carvings, which represent the circles of the 9 hells. No one knows the true origin of the ring, but it is made of an unknown zoic metal. Oh, sorry.
Zoic.
Material, yeah. Well, I don't know what zoic means.
Hmm.
The ring gives the wearer the possibility to obligate the rulers of the 9 hells to fulfill an errand. Depending on the ruler, after fulfilling an errand, the carving of the appropriate circle vanishes from the ring. When found, the ring has D8 plus 1 carvings remaining. So, naturally, this kind of intervention causes a definite disproportion from the ruler's side. Thus, when the character used all 9 errands, his soul would leave his body and be transported to Asmodeus, who can decide regarding his fate, DM's choice. The feature of the ring can only be discerned by casting the spell's Identify and making an Arcana skill check against a DC 25. Furthermore,
Holy shit.
the caster has to be able to read and speak the abyssal language. I mean, that makes sense. A ring of this power to even figure out what it is in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not unreasonable, really.
Right. So,
Like, I think more things should have that kind of requirements, because, like, Identify just makes everything super easy.
So getting into the effects here. Circle 1, Tiamat. Summon a chain devil to fight on your side for 1 day or until it is killed or banished. So, just for a quick refresher, I'm going to look up chain devil.
Aren't they, like, powerful?
I don't know. Let's see. Chain devil. They are a CR8 medium fiend.
Yeah, that's
Holy
a decent amount of power.
Okay, you look awesome. Alright, cool. So, Circle 2, Despater. Locate an object, person, or monster, regardless of any magical scrying defenses. That's awesome.
I'm going to tell you right now, 5 out of 10, this is too OP.
Hold on, I mean, but the fact that you don't get all of them, unless you roll perfectly, and that the final use means you probably die.
Okay. You're selling me here.
So, Circle 3, let's see what the rest of them are first. So, Circle give the wearer, or Mammon, give the wearer one of the following: 66,600 gold, 1 powerful magic item of his choice, where the character is familiar with the item and its features, or 5,000 XP. That makes sense. That's I think that's the like the gluttony one.
Get 5,000 XP, but like you're on the milestone system.
Yeah. Cool, you got 5,000 XP. All right. Circle 4.
I swear, people are all like, hey, let's go back to XP, like libertarians. Like, we gotta go back to the gold standard, man.
I mean, all that would do is maybe level you 1 above your party. Like,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
then you got an unbalanced party.
Let's unbalance this bitch.
So Circle 4, Belial. Make the wearer immune to fire damage, and the ability to cast fiery weapon as a bonus action once per short rest. That is
Seems neat.
1d6 fire damage, divided by 5 character levels to the wielded weapon. Is that divided by or slash 5 character levels? Circle 5, Groomish. Or Groomsh. Sorry. That is the orc god we talked about a little bit.
Huh.
Summon an army of orc soldiers. Reimagine remaining on the side of the wearer. And following his instructions for 24 hours or until they are killed. 100 orcs, 1 orc war chief, and 1 eye of Groomsh.
Excuse me?
Summon an army of orc soldiers.
That's too much.
I mean, but as a DM, you could just not let them have these ones.
This is gonna be another one of those situations where you give it to the big bad.
Yeah.
And if they've beaten the big bad by this point, let them have it.
Yeah, honestly. We got 4 more circles here. So, Circle 6, Moloch. You're gonna like this one. Kill 1
Oh,
opponent.
here we go.
Target can be anywhere on the continent. Target must make Constitution and a Wisdom save, both against a DC 22. If one of the saves fails, The target is killed and the soul goes to the thick circle of hell as a slave of Moloch.
Why?
Look, I mean, this is an ancient artifact, Ring of the Nine Hells, man.
Just why?
I like it. Circle 7, Beelzebub. Plus 2%
Oh, no.
bonus on 2 abilities of your choice. That's it.
Oh, well, that was anticlimactic. I mean, we had
Yeah.
orc armies, we had summoning devils. We got
You know, what is the strength of Power Word Kill?
that's a 9th level spell.
Yeah. I mean, having that essentially on a magic item isn't that bad if you can only use it once. Maybe. If I were to use something like this, I would have a situation where like maybe you find it and it has 2, 4, 5, or not 4. So 2, so with Dissipator, Belial, Moloch, and like Beelzebub, right? And you use the other ones, those ones aren't that bad. But your last one, you can kill one opponent. But you're gonna die with it. Now you got a situation on your hand.
Okay, that does create a dilemma.
Sure.
I'm all for the dilemma.
I'm holding you on for these last 2. So, Circle 8, Mephistopheles. Resurrect the character.
Mephistopheles.
Is it Mephistopheles? This is
Mephistopheles.
This is
That's the one.
Mephistopheles. It's MEPHISTOP.
Maybe they misspelled it.
I mean, there's different versions. It kind of depends on like which one you're talking about. This is talking about like the demon lord. So it's Mephistopheles.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're looking this up. Hold on.
Someone didn't spell check their shit.
Mephistopheles. So Mephistopheles and then But
On a side note, I found out what Zoic means.
they're the same. What does Zoic mean?
Okay, Nerdbot says that it can be used to describe something that exhibits traits that are animalistic in behavior, something instinctive reactions, or aggressive tendencies.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Thanks, Nerdbot.
So I'm not finding anything on the other one, Mephistopheles, but that does sound familiar. But this does say Mephistopheles, also known as Mephisto, is a demon featured in German folk. So
Yep.
Cool. Maybe it's just like a region spelled different, whatever.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
I get the meaning though. So
Circle
whatever.
8 is resurrect the character once using True Resurrection. This feature can be used as a reaction once you suffer damage. This would otherwise kill you. Oh, that would otherwise kill you. Yeah.
Huh.
To get one.
Get out of jail.
Get one True Resurrection. Resurrection. And Circle
Play it
9
fast and loose.
Asmodeus. Cast the Wish spell.
This is a late game item.
This is an end game.
Yeah, very
You're coming
end
up
game
against
because these are
big bad. The one all to end all. You know?
okay. I've warmed up to it because the only way to think of it is an end game item.
I think it's awesome. Definitely, has to be like an end game thing, but amazing potential.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10 just for the sheer fact that ain't nobody getting to that late in the game, Like,
Yeah.
how many games that go that far? Up above
man.
level 15?
One can only
Nah.
dream. One can only dream.
I wish. Damn. First, you got to get a DM to stick around long enough and keep their mental health in check so they're not like, yo, I'm quitting. I'm a little too depressed right now. Like, you know how many DMs I've had do that to me? It sucks, man.
It does happen. Do be like that sometimes. I think with that, we're good to conclude this episode, right?
Well, first a shout out from our sponsor, BetterHelp.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid, it's you. I swear, we got to make Raid Shadow Legends a warlock subclass for our parody book.
I would say go ahead and play the you're watching and go ahead and end this episode.
It sounds good to me. And cut.
Thanks for listening to Dungeons and Talkshows, brought to you by the Nerd Militia. Check us out on Patreon or Discord if you want to support us. And if you want to get more Nerd Militia content, you can follow us on Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube. Or really any of the usual podcasting platforms. But as always, we're nerds, so what do we know?